Thank you indeed for staying with us on this second part of the show. My name is Peter Wakaba. Of course, well, to come back with a quick look again at our Twitter poll question, and today we are asking you, how has e-commerce shaped your shopping habits? You can reach out to us. The hashtag is KTN Business. Reach me directly on at Peter Wakaba. Use the Twitter handle at KTN News, and we will continue to sample that conversation as the show does, well, go on. Well, before we get right into it, just to bring you up to speed on some breaking news, and we are getting information that the Director of Public Prosecution, that is Nurdin Haji, has directed that the owner of the flower farm in Solai, where the dam burst, killing, well, scores of people, that of course is Mr. Patel. Well, he has directed the police to have him arrested and arraigned before court and to be charged with either involuntary manslaughter or, well, killing without intent. We'll of course be bringing you up to speed on what exactly the charges are when that, well, does happen. A story that we are following up for you, and we'll be bringing you subsequent details. Again, to recap, Director of Public Prosecution Nurdin Haji has directed that the owner of Patel Dam and the flower farm surrounding it to be arrested and arraigned in court and be charged with charges relating to, well, involuntary murder. I'm expecting that that will be involuntary manslaughter. Well, let's get right down to it. Our conversation around, well, entrepreneurship 101 starts right now. And in studio with me, Jeff Njao Moya. Jeff, karibu sana.
Asante.
Our conversation today is supposed to come at this from the perspective that you created a business idea, you've registered your business, you've grown it. We've talked about the systems you need to put in place, the HR. We're not talking about how to finance your business.
Yes.
Basically, the various ways in which you can put money into your business to either get it to start to grow or to mature to the next level. What exactly are the avenues that we can be looking at?
All right, thank you very much. Financing of business is a mandatory thing that you have to do.
Yes.
Everything in business costs money. So you have to think through the financing mode. The first thing I always tell my clients is that you have to start putting some money together at a time when there's low pressure before you start the business. If for all the viewers who are employed out there, employment becomes one of the quickest and one of the best sources of money, whereby you put some money on the side before you get to start your business. So if you're planning to do business and you're employed out there today, what I will advise you to do is you start having a savings plan so that by the time it's 1 year, 1.5 years down the line, you can be able to afford to put the business. So the other is savings. Your savings are key item. Whether or not you're employed, maybe you're already doing another kind of business, you might want to put some money on the side for this new venture or for a new expansion or for buying of an asset. Even businesses that are already a going concern, they are running out there, and maybe you want to now stop renting and you want to own your own premises, or maybe you want to bring in this new machine. Saving is always a good model, whereby you say 10% or 3% or 5% of the amounts of monies that you have, that you make, you put them aside in a savings account, or you put them aside in an account that can also bear you some interest. That's another thing. Save in a place that can bear you interest. So that even as the money sits there, you can receive something for the opportunity cost of not having,
and also that
having the money.
Inflation doesn't eat away at your savings.
Pardon?
And also so that inflation doesn't necessarily eat away at your savings.
Exactly. Because if you put your money constant, the value only depreciates. It doesn't increase. It doesn't increase.
Yeah, so essentially the aspect that you're talking about is saving and then investing that money in a business. What about when your either savings are not sufficient or you really are not able to save? What then do you do? The
next thing becomes borrowing. And we can borrow from different sources. Let me start from the easiest form of borrowing. The easiest form of borrowing is family. Whereby you go to your wife, you go to your husband, you go to your family, your mother, your father, you go to close relatives. It's an easy way of addressing, of getting money, but it also has its negative sides, because then your business is open to the public, it's open to family, which sometimes is not the best of situations. Some people, however, have exemplified this. I do a lot of work in Somalia, I do a lot of work in some Muslim countries, and the Somali business has boomed because they hardly go to financial services institutions. They borrow internally from the family. So maybe as Kenyans, we need to start thinking of how the Asians are also good in that. They also do a lot of family lending.
Yes.
And because of that, they can be able to access money at unfairable, easy cost.
Yes.
After we do family, the next guy is usually your SACCOs. Your SACCOs are quicker to give you money. A SACCO is always faster than a bank, a million times over. So if you're putting some savings in a SACCO, is a good thing. And actually today, SACCOs are growing extremely fast.
Yes.
Remember, SACCOs were not capped interest rates. So they've been able to still do a lot more business. You will see some SACCOs becoming even bigger than banks in the next foreseeable future. Actually, right now, big SACCOs are doing much better, and they'll post better profits than tier 2, tier 3 banks. The next guy after your SACCO becomes your bank. That's your normal lender.
Yes.
And that's their TOR, lending to you. Banks are very stringent. There's a whole list of requirements for you to get the monies, but one of the key things is that you have to have some history with them. You have to create consistently modalities in which you're talking to them, they know what business you're in, they understand your cash flows. So if you're planning to borrow from banks, you have to set up track record. Most of the times they talk about 6 months, they talk about even further than 6 months. It's always important to always ensure, if you're planning to go to the bank, ensure that there's track record. In them, working capital loans are usually harder to get than asset loans. Working capital loans, you have to secure the money. Whereby you have something, just in case you don't pay, they can be able to take. Asset loans, on the other hand, the bank can be able to use that asset that you're intending to buy as a collateral and as security for you to get the money. So that's by and large borrowing.
A lot of people might not have formalized their businesses to the point where they have a track record. They haven't been keeping receipts, proper P&Ls, literally keeping the books. They might not have a real bank account that is running to show their transactions. Some of these guys might turn to Shylocks. What are the advantages and disadvantages here?
Oh, Shylocks have one major advantage, and that's why they are big in business today. Quick access. Quick access. So they provide quick access. Today you go, you have a need, you call your Shylock, and by evening you have the money. But there is one big disadvantage. Their interest rates are usually so punitive, extremely punitive. They go from 5% per month all the way to 25% per month. Some even go to 30% per month. And we have all manner of them. The logbook loans, all those are Shylocks. Your property loans, the guy's loan on title, that's a Shylock. There are others called cash on items, where you bring your laptop, or you bring your machine, or you bring your sofa set. All those, you have, quick access, but then they have extremely punitive. Then another thing is that they are not regulated, they are not controlled. So they can pull a fast one on you. They can come in the middle of the night and take your sofa set. They will not call you 8 to 5.
Or sell off your shamba.
Or sell off your shamba. Even without following due process and procedure. Actually, there are so many of them. They've been mushrooming. After there was capping of interest rates, remember, banks stopped lending to many of the entrepreneurs. And whether or not the bank stopped lending, the demand for money was constant. So these guys mushroomed, and there are so many of them, and they're actually doing a lot of big business, obviously at the peril of the society.
Finally, because we're almost out of time, let's talk about electronic lending. The fact that there are all these apps out there. It started with Mshwari and M-Pesa, KCB M-Pesa. Now we have the likes of Tala, Branch. We have so many others out there. What are the pros and cons of borrowing from this kind of people?
One thing is that where our society is that we are very tech savvy, we are very on the phone, we are always transacting. One thing financial services institutions and circles have failed to do is recognize the transactions capability of businesses on their phones. So I might never have a bank account, but I transact 30, 50, 100,000 shillings daily on my phone. So these people have been able to come in and see the gap and see the fact that there's transactional history that can be derived from the phone. And you can be able to create their softwares on artificial intelligence that we can profile you as a lender, as a borrower. Then there is obviously CRB, the reference bureau, that has plugged into this mobile money lending kind of things. So it's become safer for them because that becomes their first reference. So that becomes a major area of lending. Remember, M-Shwari, which is hosted by CBA, I think, has, I think, among the largest numbers of customers. So the way to go is no longer brick and mortar. It's actually click and drag. It's on the phone. And it's one of the areas that I advise customers to go in. And customers are really going that way because there's no paperwork, there's no queuing, there's no calling your branch manager to find out what's going on. There's no security. It's very, very fast, and we are moving to a place where lending has to move faster. And this is the challenge to financial services institutions. I consult for some of them, and I challenge them that we have to move to a place where we are more digital, we are more on the phone, because business people are on the phone.
Okay, indeed, Jeff, unfortunately, we are out of time, but quite a bit to sink our teeth into there. The aspects of financing businesses. Thank you very much for your time.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
Okay, indeed, of course, we do have a conversation lined up next week to take this conversation forward. So it will be indeed something to look forward to.
We can touch venture capital next week.
Venture capital as one of the ways of getting financing, and with its whole, and well, bits of do's and don'ts and pros and cons.
Exactly.
Okay, indeed, well, we'll have to leave that interview right there. But moving on with the news, in keeping with the shifting consumer trends in the market, coffee chain Java House has opened a new outlet in Diani in Kwale County as it continues to expand its business across the country. Java's new outlet cost about 50 million shillings, something that its CEO, Paul Allsmith, says is a substantial investment that will eventually pay off. The new branch will cater to locals and international visitors in the tourist hub. Java House also comprises two other brands, that is Planet Yogurt and 360 Degrees Pizza, launched in 2011 and 2013 respectively. Well, just before we go to the next conversation, to bring you some breaking news, where we're being told that Miranda High School, Boys High School in Siaya County, has been closed down indefinitely following student unrest. This, of course, follows an order by the county director of education, who has ordered the closure of the school to safeguard the students. Students, of course, have been protesting against allegedly tough boarding rules, including being forced to wake up early. Well, it seems to be that time of the year again, but away from that, that of course is a story that we will be following later on in the day and bringing you up to speed on what exactly is going on. Well, let's go to a final conversation for the day, and this time around SMEs and of course being able to approach and indeed get into the global marketplace. This of course is done online, and well, I'm joined in studio by Chris Rumenya. He is the head of marketplace at Jumia. Karibu sana.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so first off, of course, the fact that we have been talking about small business for most of this show, and a lot of these small businesses looking for ways to access customers, are looking to be able to go beyond their borders, beyond their limitations of being small, and do something that many other large businesses have been able to do, reach customers far and wide through platforms such as Jumia. How are you enabling them to do this?
Okay, so that's exactly the value proposition that we offer.
Yes.
So as Jumia, like we're giving, we call them vendors,
yes,
or small businesses, a chance to sell beyond the boundaries. Mm-hmm. So first of all, you're given an access to over 6 million visitors. So I want you to imagine such a scenario whereby you're getting a shop in a place with traffic of around 3 million people passing by that shop. Like, how much will this cost you? So we're giving small businesses an opportunity of having this for free. So that's what we're doing. Like, every month we're expecting around 3 million visitors coming into our website, looking for this opportunity for these customers.
Yeah, so when you say free, there's nothing like a free lunch, really. Okay. So what's the value proposition for you? How do you make your money?
So for us as a company, we take commissions based on the delivered items that are going to deliver. That's the commission that we take from them.
So let's talk about the entire value chain, because I've actually bought a fishing line and a fishing reel and some parts in the past, and this was from a Chinese company. Okay. So how exactly do you ensure that first, of course, the quality is what these guys have posted, that what they've posted is not a gimmick? Then, of course, there's the cost implications of the transport, because this is just one unit, and then, of course, the timeliness and convenience to the customer. How do you get all these ducks in a row?
So for us as Jumia as a company, like, our mission as a company is giving customers affordable products, a wide range of affordable products, and good quality products. So that is the mission we have as a company. So we are training a lot of our vendors, so we quality check all the products that pass through our platform. Like, we call them, what we do is we call them the 3 C's of e-commerce.
Yes.
So as you know, the biggest barriers to e-commerce right now is education and trust. And that's coming out from trust. Yes. So to ensure that our customers are trusting us, these are key things that we look at. So on our vendors, we have a rating system for most of the vendors that we have, for the vendors that we have on our platform. So what we ensure is that the vendors are judged based on how fast they deliver the products to their customers. Next, what is the quality of the products that they're giving us, okay? And then we're ensuring that the availability of the products.
Yes.
Because, you know, customers will get so much pissed off if the products are not available.
So the promise has to, literally, the experience has to live up to the promise.
Yeah, because for us, we focus on what we call returning customers. Because for a business like this, we're investing a lot in marketing, and then we want these customers to have a very good experience. And after having a very good experience, these customers will come back and purchase on our platform.
For a lot of Kenyans who've not had experience with the online marketplace, but still have access through things like mobile phones, it still has been a challenge to reach them in the past. One of the things that you did recently was offer to sell unga at 1 shilling.
That's one. Yeah.
So talk to us about that.
So for us, unga, this is a special event. For us, we're looking at, as I said before, one of the biggest issues is trust.
Yes.
So we're giving new customers an opportunity and a chance to try e-commerce without investing anything.
Yes.
So you're buying the unga at 1 shilling without paying any delivery fee.
What was the amount? Was it 2 kilos, 1 kilo?
No, it was 2 kilos.
Okay.
Yeah. So imagine paying for this 1 shilling just to try e-commerce, so and a lot of these customers are coming back because that was the first time someone is purchasing something.
I want you to talk us through the process. So essentially, this person will pay 1 shilling either through the mobile phone or on delivery.
So our biggest value proposition for us is cash on delivery. Like, you're able to pay cash on delivery. You see the product, feel it, and then pay for it. So you don't have any issues to do with trust at that particular.
What was the uptake you saw on that, so to say, that gimmick? Because it did cause quite a bit of buzz.
Yeah, it was big. Like, we got almost 60,000 orders for this, so it was big.
60,000 bags of unga.
That's a lot of new customers.
And you are able to keep doing the deliveries and make them timely, so it didn't strain your system.
Yeah, so for the system that we have, Peter, right now, like, we are prepared for this. Like, we've been working, we've learned through our mistakes before. We're prepared for this. Like, our system are capable of handling, like, numerous amount of order without any. We have been stress testing it. For example, this month, on 16th of July, we are having our birthday. And the amount of orders that you're expecting to receive at that particular point, we're already prepared for this. Yeah.
Why? Because there's going to be an offer.
Yeah.
Okay. And let's then talk about the entire ecosystem. The fact that In places like Kenya, regulation tends to be behind the curve in terms of staying with innovation. What has been your experience with the marketplace in terms of regulation from either government, county government, that sort of thing? For example, you rely a lot on motorbike riders for delivery, but as you know now, they're not allowed in the middle of town, things like that.
Okay, so for us, we've just transformed what we have offline, brought it online, and killed the barriers that most of the time will happen. So what we're doing, we're just following the same regulations that the offline market follows, like our vendors pay taxes, they follow the same thing. These are people with offline shops, so they just bring the shops online. In terms of riders, we have our own logistic company that's registered and doing a lot of this. We are working with third-party logistic companies that have access to where they can go, they pay for parking and such things.
What about people who are not, who are literally off the beaten track? I could be based in the middle of Turkana, but I still have access to connectivity, and I see a product I like and I want to order that. What then does that mean in terms of delivery cost and convenience and the consumer experience?
That's why for us as a company, we're looking at growth. Like growth is very big for us because it enables us to have economies of scale in whatever we're doing. Like right now, we're delivering all over the country because even the customers in Turkana, we're not having one order in Turkana. We're going to get like 50 orders being taken to Turkana. So we're able to deliver all over, literally all over in the country. Right now, with the scale that we have, we're delivering all over in the country.
Then finally, I want to talk about the products because most people would think that when you say online marketplace, it's only for things like electronics, mobile phones, that sort of thing. But we've seen even cement. We've seen now there's Jumia food. We've seen very, very many different types of materials being sold online. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, like the weirdest product we've ever sold on Jumia so far. We've sold grass.
Grass?
Yes, we've sold charcoal.
Yes.
So what you're trying to show to show consumers is that
charcoal is illegal, so would it still be able to...
No, briquettes. Let me put it.
Charcoal briquettes.
Yes. So what you're trying to show consumers is this, that literally you're able to get anything that you'll ever think of on Jumia.
Price competitiveness, because for me, if I have to go to, for example, Embakasi to buy 30 bags of cement, but I can make an order online and get it delivered at a fraction of, well, maybe even the same price, but I don't have to go through the hassle of going all the way to the shop. Do you think you're able to provide that sort of convenience?
That's our biggest value proposition. So in terms of pricing, so we focus on two things as a company. Selection, like having a full range of products, whatever you can think of. And then in terms of pricing, we have the most affordable prices. So imagine for you as a seller, coming to sell online, you're cutting your cost by all the rent money and anything that you need. So it means most of our sellers will have the cheapest prices as possible. So we're offering that convenience to the customers. And we're doing that at a breathtaking speed. Like right now, currently we're delivering orders within 2 to 3 days. We have orders that are delivered next day if they're placed before 3 p.m. So we're doing great.
Okay. Chris, thank you very much for your time. Of course, to remind you and obvious that the proof of the pudding is in the eating, and that the marketplace is indeed murderous if it doesn't live up to the value proposition. Thank you very much, sir, for your time.
Thank you.
Well, on that aspirational note, we want to bring it to a close. Of course, that conversation there being around what exactly Jumia is doing to enable fast consumers access, convenience, and, well, good prices, while enabling, of course, the sellers also access a global marketplace. And, of course, that conversation bringing us to the end of the show. It has been a pleasure. Up next, in just a few minutes, Biu KTN from the Swahili desk. We'll be back at the same time again tomorrow with more from the world of business. My name is Peter Kaba. It has been a pleasure. Kwaheri ya kuonana.